For our course project, we tackled a universal struggle in computer science education, debugging. While students learn syntax easily, the logic of finding errors remains elusive. Our project was the design and execution of an interactive lab aimed at guiding new programmers from using messy print statements to mastering the VS Code debugger. The inspiration for this came from the fact that debugging often occupies more than half the time in a programming assignment, but not much time in lectures is dedicated to teaching debugging techniques or how to use those powerful debugging tools. In our pre-lab survey, we found that while students were aware of debuggers, they did not always use them. One student explicitly noted that for simple programs, they just visually compare results, but as code gets complex, they realized they needed better and more structured ways to debug. These techniques are very important based on our programming experience, and we thought it would be valuable to host a lab to deliver this to students. To address this, we designed a collaborative lab session. We split students into groups of 2 to 4 to foster peer learning. The session began with the instructor teaching basic concepts about VS Code debuggers with simple slides, and using a simple demo code to show the behaviors of setting breakpoints and stepping through code. Then, the students were instructed to tackle a set of buggy Python scripts that increased in difficulty. We started simple debugging a loop that sums numbers. But we moved to complex algorithmic concepts, like sorting lists and finding the longest palindromic substring. We required students to use the debugger to visualize variables and how they changed inside nested loops or recursions. We measured our impact through a post-lab survey, and the results were encouraging. Students felt more experienced with debugging. When asked if they would use the VS Code debugger in future assignments, the response showed a high willingness to use it. Qualitatively, students reported that the lab helped them understand how to break down problems. One student noted that instead of getting overwhelmed by the whole file, the debugger allowed them to break the problem down in certain occasions, and save a considerable amount of time. In conclusion, we hosted an interactive lab that taught students to use one of the most important techniques in programming, debugging. With simple practice, they learned to break problems down and solve bugs step by step with debuggers, which is a more professional engineering practice. Thanks for watching.